Hi guys, Saki and welcome back to Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map Destruction Derby. I'm standing in the top left position playing as the Soviets. So for those of you who don't know this map, it's mainly just ore patches all over the map, except for an island in the middle which has lots of gems on. Now the gem island is connected to the mainland by a small bridge, and if you can get on the gem patch then it gives you a big advantage. So what we need to make sure is we get on the gem patch first if we have a chance later on, or that the other team doesn't get on there, because if a team's able to utilise that gem patch then that team is likely to win. Now I'm just getting some infantry out first of all, do a little bit of scouting, and the main place I want to scout is towards the right of my base, because I'm in the top left. Now you can get attacked from the top left if someone takes tanks around the back or infantry around the back, but it's very unusual. And I also know that a person spawns to the right, and we can see there green is to the right of us, taking a man there, and we'll just try and stop him from getting into our base, because we don't want to get him to get visibility, because then he'll know what we're doing. Now, because this is an ore-only map, we are going to have to be careful with our economy and try and make sure it's strong. So I'm going to build 2 ore trucks early on from our first war factory, and then I'm going to build heavy tanks. I'm also going to build my second ore refinery before my second war factory, just to give us the best, strongest economy we can have early on in the game. And we do have to be aware that other players are playing as allies, quite a few of the other players, except for Eric, of course. So we'll have to make sure we're able to defend against them. But then we see Noah's playing as a pink, and he's able to take an infantry in the back of our base. So you'll have a tiny bit of visibility there, not too much. But yeah, he's obviously taking an infantry scout around the back there. So I'll just put a couple of infantry up there just to see if there's any more coming from that direction. And now I'm going to start building my second war factory. Now, aftermath units are switched on in this game, so I won't get any benefit after a second war factory. That'll be my fastest tank building speed I can get, which is different from if you play with aftermath units switched off. But now I can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got one of our teammates there, and Nose is located just above him. We've got Red Yoshi at the top of the map. And now we can see him starting to build, bring some light tanks. I think it's going towards my base. I got my second war factory in now, and now I'm going to start building a large power plant, and then I'll be trying to get some Tesla down, because I know that light tanks are very weak against Tesla. So we'll have to see if he tends to take any more tanks. I can't see him at the moment, so I'm just having a bit of a look around, just to see if he was anywhere visible, but I can't see him at the moment. And we can see him there with a radar dome, and building towards one of the other ore patches. So I'll soon have that Tesla placed down, and now we can see his light tanks grouping together, and it looks like there's going to be a battle soon. We'll put a Tesla in the middle there, and then we'll start building other large power plants in case we need more Tesla, because it looks like he has the better tank numbers right at the moment. He's building light tanks, and we're building heavy tanks as the Soviets. So I've got another power plant down there, and now we're starting to build our second Tesla. We can see that light tank force is coming in now, and it could be dangerous for our construction yard. We have to see, like, tank numbers are probably about even at the moment because he's using light tanks, which are a little bit weaker. We'll have to see, is he going to go for the building dive, or is he just going to fight it out? For that, it looks like I think I got the better of him there, possibly. So now he's having to pull back. And I'm just going to build another ore refinery. Or is he getting attacked by another player? Yeah, it is. And SAS is attacking his base. So that's really bad for Red Yoshi at the moment. He's losing a lot of buildings there. He's lost a few buildings there, and now it looks like he's defending his war factory, and this is an ideal time for us to come in. But I'm looking at the bottom of the map, and in the bottom left of the map we can see that Nose and Eric are fighting Carter, who looks like he's going to be taken out very, very soon. So we're going to have to try and take out the buildings of Red Yoshi. Let's see if we can take out some of his tanks as well in the meantime as well. And you can see those tanks pulling away. A lot of them are on very low HP. A lot of them are red, and SAS is going for the other side of his base. So now we're taking out that large power plant. We're going to have a look at what he has left. It looks like he's lost all his war factories, and he's also, I think, lost his MCV, which means he's not going to be able to replace any of those tanks. So now we have a decision to make. Where are we going to go? Are we going to go and finish off Red Yoshi, or are we going to go to Nose's base? Because Nose has just defeated Carter, and I think he's going to be coming from our base before too long. So this is one of those split decisions I'm going to need to make, and I'm going to go down to the bottom left-hand corner. There's SAS there. I can see him fighting Red Yoshi, and we can see Nose taking some of his tanks towards my base. And it looks like we might have a little bit of a base race on our hands. My tank's getting a bit closer now. I think he might get to my base first because his tanks were moving before mine were, but he's got a less direct path because it's a bit tricky around that left side of the map. And now we're at his base, and I'm just going to have a look up at my base because I'm going to want to replace my ore refinery in a sec. I'm just going to target his construction yard first. And let's put our ore refinery down, and we can see indeed those light tanks are reaching my base. But fortunately, I do have a couple of Tesla there to provide some backup, and they'll be able to take out some of those light tanks at least. And now we've just taken out his buildings ASAP. We're going to take out that ore refinery as well. And it's just a case of destroying these buildings as efficiently and as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, I'm actually low on power, so those Tesla aren't going to be doing much right at the moment. And I just have to take these last few buildings because it doesn't look like Nose's base is that big. And we'll have to see if this radar dome is the last building. If it is, then we might just survive. And Nose is out of the game. So if we go back up to the top now and have a look, we can see that construction yard almost out of HP. And funnily enough, he did actually take out the Tesla. So building that large power plant was a bit of a waste of time, but I'll just put it down there and build a flame tower just in case we have any infantry coming towards me. But at the moment, we're looking okay, except for SAS, who's been taken out of the game. And we can see there's some... Eric's tanks have taken SAS out from the back of the base, and now Red Yoshi is coming for me. And unfortunately, I don't have any ore left, and my construction yards are on low HP, and it looks like it's going to go down, unfortunately, and it does. So we'll just take out Red Yoshi's final buildings. We'll take our tanks back there. You can see his tanks are on low HP, and it looks like they're going to be taken out quite quickly. Hopefully we won't be able to get any more buildings down. We're just going to try and keep that power plant because we don't want to get low on power. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to build units as quickly. Now, fortunately, because Aftermath units is on, I've still got 2 war factories, so I'm still at my max building speed. I have lost some ore refineries though from different places, which is going to make it a bit tricky for me. And there we see that Red Yoshi's base is basically destroyed except for that radar dome, but I don't think he's got any units left, which is fortunate for me because I'm going to need to fight Eric now. And we can see with those heavy tanks there, and the question is how many extra MCVs does he have? I do know Eric likes his multi-MCV strategies, so let's see. His heavy tanks are starting to build up there. We're going to have to be careful. We don't want to lose too many tanks in this. And we can see those tanks coming through that little bottleneck here. And we're going to get a good trade here because as we go through the bottleneck, they get spread out. And you can see my tanks are quite easily able to fire on his single tanks. And this is looking... Alright, we're getting a good trade. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and push in and attack his base once we get the better tank mass, because we can see he's losing his tanks quite quickly. And now we're going to try and force our way through because we've got superior tank numbers, and it doesn't look like Eric's got that much to defend with this upper base, but he's also got his base down in the bottom right hand side as well. So we just need to take out these couple of tanks. And now we're going to go for his war factory at this top base. And we can see now he's building a Tesla. And those Tesla will do a lot of damage. So I want to take them out first. Because I do have a limited number of tanks I'm going to be able to build. And that Tesla going down. And now we'll just take out these 2 heavy tanks at this top base. He builds another Tesla. But now there's no tanks to defend it. So that Tesla is going to go down also. And now we're going to be able to take out these remaining buildings. So that radar dome going down. We'll take out Red Yoshi's radar dome just in case he has decided to take his ore trucks towards my base. So that goes down as well. And I'll delete Red Yoshi's tank, well, all his units across the map. And now we'll just take out those remaining buildings. You can see Eric trying to come in with his heavy tanks. And he's trying to go past me at the moment, actually. So I'm going to need to take this construction yard out first. And I'm going to need to take some heavy tanks up to defend my base. Because I've lost my MCV, any structures that get destroyed now, I've lost for the whole game. And just having a look at his base, we can see he's got some Tesla defending it, which is bad news for me because it's going to be very hard for us to get in. And I'm just trying to regroup some of my tanks around my base just to put up a little bit of a defence, because we can see his tanks are just streaming towards there. We'll see if we can kill some tanks on their way. Just take out some of the HP. Yeah, not doing too much actually. It's quite hard to like fight when you're fighting moving tanks, and we can see those tanks getting closer and closer to my base, and we'll have to see what they decide to go for in the end. Unfortunately, that flame tower is not going to do much against tanks as I bring some of my tanks back close towards my base, and they're going for that wall factory which is on low HP. We weren't able to heal it early on because we didn't have any ore, so every time we tried to mend it, we ran out of ore again. And now we can see some of those tanks coming from the bottom. And it looks like, yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. Oh, unfortunately, I should have deleted those, stopped those tanks building, actually, because now it looks like it's going to go down, unfortunately. The only thing is we didn't have a very good ore supply anyway, so it's not going to make too much difference because we've still got one war factory producing, and now we've got these tanks down near Eric's base. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them a little bit closer, and then we're going to try and destroy some of those ore trucks which are near his base. We can see Eric now taking his tanks back. I don't know if he's noticed that my tanks are quite near his base and going to be doing some destruction to his economy. So let's see what we can do here. It's quite a hard place to be because we don't want to get too close to that Tesla coil because they do major damage to tanks. But what we are going to try and do is, if those ore trucks get close enough, we're going to try and take them out. And it looks like that one ore truck is going to go down. It's on low HP and it goes down. And there's a second ore truck which also looks like it's going to go down also. And now we can see Eric starting to bring some heavy tanks back. So we're just going to try and take out these tanks as they're coming in one at a time. And we're getting some good kills. But unfortunately, we don't have that many tanks in this area of the map. And now he's starting to be able to group some of his tanks together. We still have the numbers advantage right at the moment, and getting another tank kill. We've got some infantry in there. We're just going to try and kill as many of these tanks as possible and whittle down his forces. And I'm looking at my base. We're still taking our tanks from our base to reinforce these tanks because all of Eric's tanks is now moving towards this point in the map. But now it looks for once like Eric has slightly better tank numbers than I do, and my tanks are on very low HP, some of them. So let's see how this goes. It looks like we're going to lose these tanks for now, but we're just going to try and damage these tanks enough so when my reinforcements come in, we're quite easily able to take out those tanks. And just manoeuvring my tanks around a little bit now, and now you can see the tanks from my base getting here, and now I will have the superior tank numbers once again. Those tanks are low HP, and you can just see I'm swarming him now, able to get those tank kills. And now you can see Eric pulling a little bit further back with those heavy tanks and just trying to group up a little bit. But I do have a large number of tanks here, and let's see how this goes. You can see those tanks getting destroyed very quickly, and that's what happens when one player has a lot of tanks and the other player doesn't. We've been able to take out a lot of those tanks, and now we're going to go for his base. But unfortunately, we do see some tanks coming in from another side of the map, and it looks like Eric has another base elsewhere on the map. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and dive in and do as much damage as I can now, but it does look like it's over. Unfortunately, Eric is going to be able to defeat me this game. There's a few decisions to make this game. I guess it sort of was a 2v1 on two parts of the map. Our teammate got taken out in the bottom left-hand corner, and their teammate got taken out in the top right corner. So that's sort of how that went. I did make the decision to go for Nose's base, but even if I finished off Red Yoshi early on in the game, because he did destroy my construction yard later on, it wouldn't have made a difference because we saw how close Nose came to destroying my construction yard. And if we'd gone back to defend my base against Nose, which we could have, and I think we would have won that battle quite easily, Nose would have still had his base. So then it would have been a 2v1. Eric and Nose would have been able to work together and win the game. So that, yeah, unfortunately, it was one of those situations, I think, where there was nothing I really did. If I would have just lost in a slightly different way. So that was that. Quite a hectic game there. A lot going on in different parts of the map. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.